Hola! So today I am telling you the story about the time I slept with a famous rapper. It is the third time that I'm filming this video today because I keep getting interrupted by the Church of Scientology. They keep calling me, they keep doing crazy stuff. Well, they really just keep calling me and then it's like they try and drag out the calls. It has nothing to do with this video or the person that I'm talking about in this video. Hopefully you guys won't figure out who I'm talking about in this video because he will get into potentially a lot of trouble and so will I. So, moving on with the story, I did sleep with a famous rapper. He used to be kind of A-list in a way and then kind of like dropped off. You know, he's had a good career, but at the time when I slept with him and when I met him, he was no longer, like, up there. Still a name, but not a huge name anymore. So I was in Las Vegas with my family, and I got a message on Instagram being like, you know, hey, like, hey, cutie, you know, the kind of stuff. Like, I see you're in Las Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas right now. Do you want to, like, hang out? Do you want to do this? Do you want to, like, come over? Like, here's my hotel. Like, you know, I'm talking to him too. And I'm like, you know, I don't think I can. 1, I'm with my family. 2, I think we're leaving soon. And 3, you probably don't realize this because I think back in the day I never used to, like, disclose my age. Not for any reason other than it just never comes up. But for the record, I'm 23. There's been a few reports that I'm older than that, which I don't like. But, at the time, I was, I guess, about 17, because I don't think I was 16. I would have been about 17. And I was like, I'm really sorry, but I'm underage as well. And I was like, what if he's like, yeah, that's fine. Thank God he wasn't. He was like, oh, like, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize, you know, like, thanks for, like, supporting my music and all of that stuff. Like, when's your birthday? All of this. Probably asking my birthday to be like, well, you know, in a few months, give me a call, but, which, down the track, found out that's exactly what he was doing. But, regardless, he wasn't like, hey, like, small child, come over. So, I just look at this like, I got, like, a message from a celebrity, like, ooh, how exciting, but I don't think anything's ever going to come of it, especially because, like, I'm going back to Australia, I don't know when I'll be back there, I don't know. And he probably will just forget. He'll be like, whatever, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm sure there's millions of other little lady boys out there ready to, you know, get it. So, I go home, I'm showing everyone the messages. I'm like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe who messaged me. He said I'm beautiful. He said I should be a model. Oh, look at me go. And everyone's like, oh my God, like, no, that's fake, that's not true, all of this stuff. And I'm like, no, it is, you know, like, it happened, like, look at these messages, look at the profile, oh, you know, the whole bit, like, really, like, living it up. And, again, I'm thinking, I'm never gonna see him again, never gonna hear from him again. And even at that point, I had slept with a few celebrities, and closer to my age, and I have learnt over time that the bigger the name, the more time they actually invest in you and the more they, like, remember you. For some reason, the closer they are to D-list, the less time they have and the more paranoid they are about, like, stories and people selling stories about them, which I'm like, wake up, like, who cares about you? Honestly, you're not that interesting. This guy or any of the others, to be honest. So, that's all well and good, we're talking, no, I haven't even got to that bit yet. I'm thinking it's never gonna happen. So, I get a message from him on Instagram again, and he's like, hey, sorry, my phone got stolen, and I, 1, couldn't message you, 2, have you told anyone about my messages? And I was like, no, I definitely haven't. I wouldn't even know who to tell, because at that time, I really didn't know who, like, how to contact anyone in the media. Look at me now. I've got everyone on speed dial. But, so we keep talking and he's like, yeah, no, like, that's cool. I don't want to get, like, used. I don't want people trying to exploit me. That's kind of happened in the past. And I'm like, I totally get it. I also kind of don't care. we're talking, and he's like, you know, your birthday's coming up. That's really cool. Like, I'm actually going to be in Australia a little bit after that. And I'm like, sweet, sounds like a plan to me. So, we keep talking, and then I get an email. And do you remember there was a website, it was like a tabloid gossip kind of thing. It was more like a blog than like an actual like website. It wasn't The Shade Room, and it wasn't Hollywood Life. There was another one, and I don't think it runs anymore. Maybe it does, and I just haven't heard anything of them. But it was really like poppin' for a while, and it was like, ooh, like get the craziest goss here. Was it World Star? I don't think, it definitely wasn't World Star. Maybe it was, but I don't know. I got an email from some tabloid being like, hey, we've got these screenshots of messages between you and, we'll call him Robin. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's untrue. That's not me. I've never spoken to him. I don't know him. You know, the whole bit, trying to just keep it under wraps. Because they had the screenshots, and he obviously wasn't going to give permission to them to use them, they asked me to either give permission to use those ones, or I take screenshots from my account so that it's coming from me, so that those particular screenshots are my property to sell and give them. And I just, you know, played dumb. I said, I've never spoken to him. I'm really sorry. I don't know who gave you those screenshots, but they probably are just out to, you know, hurt one of us. I'm really sorry. If you have any questions at this time, please forward them to someone else. I'm not going to say who, but yeah. So then I message Robin and I say, I just got this email, like, somebody's trying to sell this. You probably already know, but I just wanted to let you know that this is what I sent them. So we're like on the same page. And he's like, thank you so much. Like, yeah, I've got that email as well. Like, it's been taken care of and all of this stuff. So that was fine. That, you know, water under the bridge kind of thing. I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe it wasn't for him. Maybe it was a whole ongoing thing. I'm not too sure. But then a few months roll by, I turn 18, and I get another message from him, and he's like, hey, like, I will be in Australia in a few months, so around the time that I turn 19, and I was wondering if you want to, like, come to one of my shows, or, like, we can just, like, meet up. You could come to a few of the shows, all of that stuff, and I'm like, oh, living my best life, like, yes, I would love to do that, I would totally do that, like, yes, like, I'm a video hoe now, I'm a groupie, I'm the one, like, so embarrassing, but I was 19, like, what do you expect? So, we end up meeting up at a hotel on the Gold Coast in, like, the middle of the day, and like, everybody knows, the middle of the day isn't exactly the sexiest time to meet someone at a hotel. But that's what we do. There's, like, the sounds of cleaners in the hallway. There's, like, people checking in. We do our thing. And he's gonna see this, so I'm really sorry, but it's not as big as I thought it was gonna be. He will see this because I will send it to him. Because, you know, it is what it is. And if you have any legal inquiries, go fuck yourself. To be honest. But anyway, so we do our thing. It's not as big as I thought it would be, but it was big. It was, especially at 19, I was like, like, I should be a porn star with the size of these dicks I'm taking. Like, I'm so disgusting. I'm the worst. Like, I am sorry to my whole family that love and support me and watch my videos. I understand if you want to stop watching my videos. I totally get it. Anyway, so we hook up a few times that day, and then like one more before he leaves. So like a few days apart. That's all well and good. And then I just don't hear from him, and I'm like, this is when it happens. Afterwards, I thought I was gonna hear from him the first time. I thought like that was it. And now this happens and I don't hear from him. And I'm like, that's a shame because I had fun. I was like living my best life. Like I said, I thought I was a groupie. I thought I was, you know, Black China, even though I don't think Black China was a thing back then. But you get the idea. I was living my best life. So a few years roll by, have completely forgot about him. I see him on a few shows. I see him, you know, do some things. His music comes out. And I message him, some more music comes out, and I message him, and I'm like, oh, hey, like, I actually really love this album. I'm working on an album as well. What's the chance of us, you know, collabing, getting a feature? And he's like, yeah, I love that idea. I'm actually going on tour around Australia soon, like, so, like, let's hang out, let's see, like, I'll listen to your music, send me some songs, send me some files, you know, the whole bit. And I'm like, of course, like, yes, I had this rap written. This was a time where I thought I was going to be a rapper, and this music will come out because I do still have it. It will come out at some point, but it has to come out down the track. Otherwise, people will think I legitimately still want to be a rapper, and it just will be very hard. But if I have, like, my new music come out and people get a vibe for who I am, and then I'm like, this is something I did years ago, it'll be kind of more palatable. So that's how we're rolling. That's what we're doing. So I send him some songs. We collab. He sends me his little verse. We have a feature ready to rumble. He's in Australia. I go with him to one of his shows. And I'm like, yes, like, this is it, yes, like, I'm the one, like, I'm gonna have music coming out, like, my X Factor episode is about to air, like, I'm living the LA lifestyle, like, look at me now, like, eat it, bitches, you know the vibe, you guys definitely know the vibe. So, I'm hanging out with him, we go back to his hotel, we do what we normally do. And then his manager starts knocking on the door. And he's like, we need to talk. I actually don't know word for word what he was saying, but essentially, like, we need to talk about something. The manager comes in, I'm, like, in a robe. Not this robe, but in, like, you know, those hotel, like, towelette robes. And he is just, like, in his underwear. And he's like, your manager has contacted your label about approval for a verse that you aren't doing, and just, like, rips into us as, like, this song's never coming out. Which, we will see about that. So, we're talking, we're living our lives. We are not living our lives. I am not living my life. I'm terrified. And it actually played a huge part in that music not coming out, which was a godsend, because that music just does not represent me and who I am, or at least it never did. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. It was definitely a phase, but it was never who I was. So, in a way, I'm really glad about that, but I was terrified. I was so terrified they start arguing about all of Robin's personal stuff, what he's got going on, like, is like, you know, like, you keep doing this and this and this, like, you're gonna have problems, you're gonna have, like, issues, like, we aren't dealing with this anymore, like, full on, like, deep stuff about his personal life that I'm not gonna get into because it's not for me to talk about. But I will tell you, Robin was into some really weird stuff, like, things involving, like, I don't want to say because, like, it might leave too much to the imagination, but, like, and because it definitely won't be what you, like, assume it is, but, like, different, like, objects, but not, like, using the objects, like, the objects being around, like, different household objects being around. It was so bizarre. And, like, if the hotel didn't have, like, whatever, like, household utensil he was wanting to have, like, around the bed, he'd just, like, order a few of them and like we'd have to wait for them to arrive. It was so bizarre. It was the weirdest thing in my life. But that's just how it goes, I guess. That's just what he does. That's just what he's into. I've spoken to him a few times since then. I know he had plans to come to Australia, but they got cancelled, and I will more than likely be in LA soon anyway, so I may see him then. I may not. I probably won't have time to see him, but if I do, we might get a part 2. Although, I have a feeling after he watches this video, there will be no chance of a part 2, but I'll let you know if anything happens. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't, then I'm not sorry and that's not my problem. Keep watching, I guess, because you probably will. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, do the whole bit, leave some comments below. I don't know, I'm new to all this, I'm no good at all this, but thanks for watching.